What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Movie Crack. Today we're continuing the old Halloween train. Hell House LLC Part 2. I reviewed the first part last week. If you want to go check that out before this one. And I really enjoyed it. So I said I'll have a go at number 2. The question is it as good as Part 1? Let's get into it. So Part 2 actually has the same director, Stephen Cognetti. And so the scare standard is still on par with the first one. We follow an investigative journalist team who return back to the Abaddon Hotel after the events of the first movie. And why, you might ask? Well, because one of the members of the team received a mysterious package claiming that there's evidence of what happened to everybody in the first movie, and it can be found, you wouldn't believe it, in the basement. I gotta say, I was way more invested in the group of people in the first movie and their setting, the way they were setting up the scare house, than I was in the group of people in the second movie. That's not to say they're bad, but it does really feel like a bit of lazy writing to try and get another group of pretty much stupid cunts to go back into this place, you know? There are plus sides to the second part, though. We do get a bit more of an idea of what's going on at the Abaddon Hotel, which was pretty nice. And in that, I mean, we get a look a bit more at the main force behind what's going on there and the main reasoning behind what's going on there. So the pacing in this movie is actually pretty good. It's only an hour and 29 minutes. I think the first one was like 2 hours long, or an hour and 50. So the movie definitely doesn't overstay its welcome. I feel like it's a perfect runtime for what they went for as far as story goes. And as far as like the scares or the tenseness, it's really flown through the movie right from the beginning, because it takes kind of place after the horrible events of the first one. So you know this hotel is a bit messed up or a bit fucked up, you know? Story and pacing for me, I'm going to give a 2.5 out of 5. Very 50-50. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Definitely wasn't as intriguing as the first movie. There are 4 Hell House LLC movies, so be interesting to see what happens in the next 2. Moving on to visuals and direction. The second part definitely holds up that very high creepy standard that the first movie kind of put in place. But in saying that, the problem with this is they kind of rip off a lot of the scares, or like the same ghosts that are in the first one in the second one. And I get it, it's the same story, same haunting, but they could have added a bit more variety. The 3 clowns, or as I call them, the 3 cunts, they're back. I mean, it's always entertaining when they're on screen. And what I also like about the scares in this movie is they actually use some of the folks who go missing in the first movie as kind of ghosts in the second movie. I thought that was very cool. I thought that was a bit of a unique twist on the scares. In fact, you feel a lot more uncomfortable because you know exactly how these ghosts end up where they are. They're obviously kind of trapped in this hotel, and so the horror movie kind of continues that line of horror from the first part to the second part. I thought was pretty cool. As far as the other visuals go, I mean, there's a scene in this one where a wall collapses. That's all I'll say. No spoilers or anything. And it's done with CGI, and it looked like fucking shit, man. I don't know what they were thinking putting that in the middle of this movie. Though they don't use much CGI, it was very much a factor that took me out of the movie. But everything else in the movie looks really good. The scares look good. It's not very gory, but it's very creepy, and that creepy factor, all of that looks really good. As for creative direction, I mean, as I said, we got a bit more of an insight into what the force is that's haunting the hotel and why people kind of keep going back there and feeding into it. But the creative direction outside of those new insights was very fucking lazy, if you ask me. I mean, they pretty much keep the sets exactly the same as the first one. It's just like the remnants of the scare house. And yeah, they don't change a whole lot about the actual setting, which I thought was disappointing. Visuals and direction, 3 out of 5 for me. Moving on to sound and score. I'll be very brief with this section. The sound was pretty good. You know, the scares sounded good. The weird creaky sounds in the hotel, all that sounded great. The score, non-existent. Didn't really remember any music or anything that was playing after the movie ended. So, pretty poor there in that sense. The sound of the horror, as I said, sounded good, so I'm going to give sound and score a 3 out of 5. So there you have it, folks. 2.8 out of 5 for Hell House LLC Part 2. I can't lie, coming off the high of the first movie, I was a little bit disappointed in this one, but there's still enough of a scare factor here to give it a look. There are two more parts to these movies, so I will be reviewing those before Halloween comes, I would imagine. Be interesting to see what they do in the next two installments. That being said, if you like this movie talk, you like this movie crack, you like this Halloween crack, stick around. Don't be a sausage. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. We have a TikTok if you want to head over there for a look at some shorter videos. But every little bit helps. I am a new channel, so climbing up the ranks. See you in the next one. Hopefully it's a good one. Good luck.